prepare to turn off the YouTube ones if they are on.
We're not. I guess we're on now.
Mhm.
Hey everybody. Just want to welcome you here tonight. I know it's not the normal Sunday evening that you're used to. And
Over here. Yeah.
okay. So it's a Thursday night, and I was approached by one or two people to do a stream. I don't hear it.
Hear what?
Me.
You want to hear yourself?
So yeah, that's true. But you can hear me?
Hmm?
You can hear me though? Okay, anyway, I'm going to get right with it. So I was approached by a couple of people to do a stream on topics. And I thought, you know what? There are some topics that I wouldn't mind answers to. So people on the panel have given me topics as well as people from the outside. I'm not going to announce who gave me what topics. We're just going to go into the topics and dive in. So again, these topics are geared towards, there's a lot of different topics as you've seen in the thumbnail. So in the thumbnail, there's topics on marriage, friendships, relationships, virtual friendships, flirting, cheating, social media, trust, secrets, lies, you name it. So, like I said, this isn't in particular to, if somebody has a topic, I'll just, hypothetically speaking, if Triple Do Scratcher is going to have, say, a specific topic, that doesn't necessarily mean it's only related to him. He's curious in general, like we all are, on how you would handle a situation. And it might be a situation that you're currently going through, but it also might not be. So it's really one of those scenarios where we're going to give our opinion. Maybe we're not, like I said, going through that particular scenario, but it's something that we could answer. Maybe we've been through it before, or we would say, basically how I might handle something if it happened to me, or if it did happen to you, you would maybe give a little insight. So like I said, it's not about digging into any of our, on the panel's personal relationships. It might apply to some of us just because it happens to be a topic that somebody presented, and maybe we have been there and done that before, or possibly going through it, but it's not, nobody's on trial here tonight on the panel. It's really, like I said, just to see how different people handle things, what different people have been through, maybe to help others and to help people in the chat. And like I said, everyone in the chat as well, please feel free to type if you've been through something, or if in fact you have some advice that could help anybody else out there. So with that said, I want to say a couple hellos to people, and then we're going to just dive right in, because there's a decent amount of topics. They can maybe be compiled into each other in some instances, but I just want to be able to...
Before you go into your hellos, let me just try to be a part of the relationship here, because,
See, I suck at this.
All right, so I want to say, well, first of all, I want to say welcome to everybody that chose to join us tonight. You could have been everywhere else on YouTube. There are like 4 billion YouTube channels out there, so you have so many options to be somewhere else, but you just wanted to be here to look at Tommy Travels and Triple Deuce Stripper, maybe. And of course, SFRO said that nobody was on trial, but there's a guy looking at me, and he's a very nice guy, to be honest. Very, very nice guy, but he's looking at me so loud, and I am scared at this moment. He's sitting right beside Winston, but... But anyway, I am Nayeri, and I am happy to have you all joining us tonight to discuss all kinds of things, relationship problems, relationship glorious happiness, and all the things that has to do with relationship, whether it be marital or you're just doing your thing or whatever it might be. We are here to talk about all of that. So back over to you, SF Rose. And as a matter of fact, just so you know, if there's anyone in the chat that didn't know, the lady sitting beside me, it's is First Lady. Her name is SF Rose, and SF stands for, let that stay. I'm the only one that should know that. So
I know what it stands for.
Oh, really? Back over to you, SF Rose.
Okay. So actually, I apologize because normally TR actually does start the show. So I started it today, and I know people don't like what I say, but I'm still going to say it. I'm a work in progress. So I get a little bit nervous and I ramble on and on. So I apologize because I did kind of make it like I was in my own lane. And we share this lane. So sorry. And I want to thank first the awesome people on the panel who all said yes without any hesitation. And so for all of you in the chat, so we have House of X Entertainment Inc. is Yo, it's your boy Leo, and Wanston, forgive me. I always forget it. Say it for me because I know it's me, Wanston, honey.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, honey. Yes, honey.
Yes, honey. So you know I know who you are, and I just sometimes mess up the order of the words in your channel. But House of X Entertainment Inc. is the both of them in that channel. So guys, I believe they have their watch hours. They just don't have enough subscribers. So anybody in this chat who's not connected to them, if Carter Club or hey Tiffany Chanel, I thank you for coming. If in fact any of you awesome moderators would like to get to work and possibly drop the link for House of X Entertainment Inc. and anybody who's not connected to them, however many extra accounts you have, if you could go grab them up, that would be helpful. So they're here tonight with us on this panel. We have, if anybody doesn't know Tommy Travels, correct that mistake immediately. The awesome right. Tommy Travels, guys. Tommy, if any of you don't know, he generally goes live. When he goes live, it's not really as often anymore, but it's usually about 11:30. Is it Central Time? Is that what your time frame is? I think
that would be Eastern Time if you're doing it that way.
True. Yes, you're right. He goes 10:15, 10:30 Central Time. Thank you for correcting that. And guys, he's awesome. He's a great supporter, and I'm sure most of you in here know him because he frequents here and I frequent there. So then we have the Miss Yo-Yo Show. Guys, if you don't know the Miss Yo-Yo Show, I don't even know what to say. You need to know her. You need to have her in your life every day. She's amazing. She's a great singer. I'm not going to ask her to sing tonight, but why I want her on this panel is because she's been through a lot and she's very well versed in life. So I think she's one of the more perfect people to touch on a lot of these topics, and she's not shy to say exactly what's on her mind. So like I said, everybody on this panel does bring something to the table in all of these topics. So I'm blessed to have such a strong panel. Now we have Mommy on Deck and Better Taste Kitchen. So guys, Mommy on Deck has been, I think, a day one for TR and probably a day two on YouTube for me, because I think I met Mommy on Deck maybe a day later. And the gentleman beside her, Better Taste Kitchen, aka Chef Colin, is her husband. Now his channel, Better Taste Kitchen, is starting to take off. And guys, I can tell you from definite experience. Oh, thanks guys, House of Entertainment Inc. Thank you. I appreciate it. What I will tell you about Chef Colin, I have actually cooked several of his recipes. And when I can say it with full certainty, he's gifted, very gifted. And it's not just how great his recipes taste, it's also the presentation of his recipes. He can make something that I probably would never have thought of eating look delicious. To me, that's a craft. So if, in fact, you're not connected to Better Taste Kitchen, as well as Mommy on Deck. I'm pretty sure everyone knows Mommy on Deck because she's been around a long time. But please drop those links. Everybody who's on the panel, if my awesome moderators can do me the favor, you don't have to drop mine, obviously. I don't care. I'm not looking for that. But please, if you want to drop the TR Show and Glasses Kingdom, the Ms. Yo-Yo Show, Mommy on Deck, Better Taste Kitchen, Triple Deuce Scratcher, Tommy Travels, House of X Entertainment Inc., and their other channels too. Yo, it's your boy Leo, and the Wonston channel, because I'm not even going to try to attempt it right now. So anyway, I'm blessed with this awesome panel, and I look forward to hearing everybody's views. So like I said, these topics that I have were given to me from a handful of people. I'm just going to get into the topics, and I might ask, in an essence, you may not be married to answer that, but you may have experienced a certain scenario with maybe a friendship or a relationship. So like I said, these topics can be answered by any of us, whether we're married, single, in a relationship, whatever the case may be. These are topics for certain that could be answered. You've been through it, or you know someone who has, or if you haven't been through it, you can also say, if I were, this is how I think I could handle it. So that's basically what we're going to do here with all the topics. And I'm going to get into it and say, thank you everyone for being here. Tiffany Chanel, I'm glad that you came out of, out of your break, I'll say. Vermont Paint, thank you for being here. Carter Club, Latrice Black, Angela M, Amazing Maisie, Box Van D. I'm not sure if you're still in here, but the fact that you showed up at all, I appreciate you. RV DJ, thank you for being here. Tyrese Ty Get It, hey, thank you for being here. How many times have I said because I said but not
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I'm not doing well. Vibing with the Rude Girl. Oh, thank you, Box Van D. All right, guys. So I'm not going to type very much because I'm going to do a lot of the talking and on the topic. So I'm just going to, in advance, say thank you to all of you in the chat and on my panel for spending this time with us. As TR did say, there's many places you could be, and you chose to be here. Oh, wait, I'm rude. Triple Deuce Scratcher. I'm sorry, dude. He's like one of my favorite people, and I totally forgot to introduce him. Oh my God, Triple Deuce.
Let me get my Leo face on.
Wait, should I super chat myself for you because I feel bad? I feel really bad. I'm sorry. No, okay. Come back. No, come back. I want to see you. I'm sorry. Listen, so everybody, if you don't know Triple Deuce Scratcher, he's awesome. He's really one of those guys who pretty much anything you kind of ask for him, if you need something, the only thing he kind of failed miserably at was my birthday video. Apparently my husband was the only one who supplied the minute video he was asked for, but he actually, I guess, you know what he did? He did you a justice. He gave you a 2 or 3 minute video. So did you think you didn't have to give one because he gave 1 or 2, extra minutes? Not really sure.
He took all the words out of what we was going to say.
So, thank you to all of you who sold me out for my birthday video. And at least, my husband came through. So, but no, anyway, Triple Deuce, I appreciate you. He's just fun. He's a fun guy. He's got a great personality, and he's a good friend to have. And he's definitely a supporter that you would want in your corner. So everybody who doesn't know him, which I'm sure you all do, he's awesome. So, and I apologize, Triple Deuce, for forgetting to introduce you, and it was rude of me. So forgive me.
You get 50 R's for that. Thank you.
Yes. So, and if you, I believe you won something on your scratch off. See, the great thing about Triple Deuce is every time he wins on his scratch off tickets, he gives half to me. So I'm doing well. So whatever you won yesterday, Triple Deuce, I expect that in my Cash App later. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. I am going to. Do you want me to? Do you want me to read all these topics? And you want me to just go through with it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So, all right, let's go to. You know what? I'm going to actually touch on a topic that somebody had given me. TR had this in his stream when he had his stream about lying. So someone brought this to me asking if you lie to protect, but then you get caught, and then there's trust issues involved with that because you've lied and now you've gotten caught. How do you handle the problems that come with that as far as trust?
It wasn't me. Second from Shaggy.
No, because you already lied and you got caught, and now either your friend or your significant other.
We have an echo.
Someone turn your volume off or your speaker off or whatever you have to do. So basically the scenario is this. Triple Deuce, hypothetically speaking, if you lied to protect whether it be a friend or a significant other and you got caught, and now that friend or significant other struggles to trust you and maybe now keeps questioning you, and now you don't like that, but don't you feel like you have to give a little bit of leverage in that? Like that my opinion is, yes, you need to give some leverage in that because for me, if somebody's going to try to lie to protect my feelings, I didn't ask anybody to make that decision for me. So if somebody decides to make that decision, it really wasn't for me. They actually made it for themselves.
Yeah, they did.
And so for me personally, that's going to cause me trust issues no matter what. Because if you lied and you said, I did this for this reason, or I did this for that reason. So now every time we go down that road, and although you say you've hashed it out and you're supposed to believe it won't happen again, I've experienced this in a relationship as well as friendship for me. So I'm speaking actually from both ends. That's how what I'm saying is, so for me, and trust is a big deal for me. And it does definitely cause a strain. I've lost friendships because of feeling that kind of way. So now I'm only answering the topic. And believe it or not, when I tell you this, none of these topics here, and I have several pages, none of these topics are actually mine. Even though I may have considered some of those topics, they were already brought to me. So I didn't have to add any. But they were definitely in my mind. So I am curious to see how other people will handle it. So any of you speak up. I'm curious to see how any of you would handle a scenario like that. Like I said, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, or a relationship, and you've been through something of that nature, how do you handle if you were the one who lied and got caught, whether it be with your significant other or a friend, and now you're dealing with the ramifications of trust? How do you think is the best way to go about that moving forward? Because it's going to be a constant bicker until you can get on the same page and truly move past it. Someone could say they're sorry and it won't happen again. And if the one who said they're sorry and it won't happen again just thinks now because they said that they've earned full trust, that's silly.
Speaking from like a relationship standpoint, the relationship is already over with, because when you come into the relationship, the trust is built, the belief is built, the you and that person have a bond. But when you break the belief and the trust and you lie about something, there's no more unity. For me, I'm one thing. You can't lie to me, you can't hide, you can't cheat, because it's done. I don't do liars, I don't do cheaters, I don't do none of those. So once that's done, it's done, because there's no way that you can fix the what's already broken.
So I am going to actually, I have a little bit of a difference of opinion with you, although the lying, the cheating part of this is still another topic. So I'm actually not going to address you in particular, where I have a little bit of a different angle on the cheating part. That's going to come later in the show. So you'll hear like my view on that a little bit later. I hear and I respect your view. And again, you might hear what I'm saying and you still might disagree with what I have to say later. But I'll give I give examples. Anything that I'm going to say, I will back up with my thought process. So I'm curious if anybody else wants to give a little bit of input, because I have a panel here and I do hope and shall say probably expect this awesome panel to definitely not just sit back and listen, but to also participate.
I have an opinion.
Go ahead.
I would agree with the part where you said if you say that you're gonna lie to someone to protect them, that's a choice that you made. That person wasn't a part of the choice, right? So if you're lying to protect somebody, that's a choice you made. And when it comes to like we talked last time in your live about lying to maybe protect your children, even that I feel like that's a choice that you make because your child wasn't involved in that. And then later on, when the child gets older, they may disagree with you and wish that you didn't tell that lie to protect them, right? And so I would agree with you on that part about if you say that you're lying because you want to protect your significant other or your friend or your child, that's a tough decision because the other person may not agree with that. They may want the raw truth, right? And so I definitely agree with that part. That's on you.
I agree with that. And actually, you know what? I think there's another part. Let me just actually look here because there might be another part that we could segue in.
Box Vandy saying 3 times and you are out.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw Box Van D say the first one. For me, again, if somebody lies, I don't necessarily. Well, I can say I'm not going to. It would depend on the situation. If I were to say I'm done, whether it's a friendship, relationship, or a marriage, I would need to understand. I'd have to try to understand what caused the person to lie. Was it just selfish reasons? Like, I guess I'm just going to segue in and say, if someone were to cheat and they are going to lie about it and say, well, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. That's really, again, not for you to decide, because to me, it was a selfish decision. So when you were talking about the cheating part, for me, people can say that cheating is a deal breaker. And I'm going to actually, believe it or not, for me, it's not definitely a deal breaker. And I'll tell you why. It depends on the scenario. Because, and I'm going to go really like lame on my example for, say, what if somebody was drugged and it was completely out of their control, but it still happened anyway? I might forgive that. For me, I think a big deal breaker where I would probably struggle for a really long time is if it was intentional. You know, you're married, you're in a relationship, or you're in something where something significant that makes you a couple, and you're planning to meet up with somebody. That to me is just on a whole level, massive level of disrespect, and it's just not valuing that person or the relationship. And it's selfish because for me, if in fact you make a commitment, I can say you can even cheat on a friendship. It's not necessarily physical. It's if you have a certain bond with a friend
Yeah.
and, they still decide to go against your bond, it's a level of cheating. Cheating is not just physical. So for me, like I said, though, if you're cheating and you're intentionally doing it, that could be a very big problem for me where I'm not sure I could get past it without there being so many trust issues that are going to follow down the road. So a lot of these topics fell in cheating. A lot of them kind of bulk together. So
I
it's
have
going
an
to
opinion.
go ahead.
Can I say something real fast?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question because Mommy on Jack said about children. Lying to your children and lying to your spouse, isn't that two different things? Because if your children are young and you're lying to them, you're lying to them to protect them because they might not be old enough to understand. Lying to your spouse is different because you're lying because you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I agree with that, Leo. Definitely. It's definitely two different things. I mentioned it because we're talking about lying to protect. And I think that in relationships, a lot of times people do say, oh, I lied because I wanted to protect you. I didn't want to hurt you. Or I lied because I didn't want you to feel some type of way. Or I didn't want you to, so a lot of people say in relationships, that's the reason why they lie, to protect the other person. So for me, I feel like, yeah, when it's a child, you have more of a right to say, okay, I'm lying to protect you. But when it comes to a relationship, I don't think you should approach it that way.
I
Absolutely.
think it depends on the line too, because my daughter still believes in Santa Claus. I'm sorry. So it depends on what kind of lie we're talking about as well.
That's the
That's
thing.
what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. I remember finding out that there was not a Santa Claus. Now, I used to think that my parents, because kids can handle a lot, you just don't know. And I'm going to tell you something, kids get really upset with you when they find out that you've lied about something, calling yourself and protecting them. They don't even like you no more. It's like they trust you that out of everybody in the world that is going to be real with them, they trust is going to be their parents. And once they find out that you lied, I remember when I found out that there was no Santa Claus.
Amen.
I was so upset with my parents, I didn't know what to do. I looked at my mother and father a little bit different because I remember standing in the window and my parents said, Santa Claus is probably, he just came. He probably up there right now. You probably can see him. And I remember standing there looking out the window at about 4 or 5 years old until I could not even stand no more. I was going to sleep because my mama said, somebody I trusted said that he was up there. And I remember when my cousin told me there was no Santa Claus. I looked at my parents like, oh, so they lied. Okay.
Not only that, the tooth fairy.
All
Remember that
right.
one about the tooth fairy?
All right.
The
I was
tooth
serious.
fairy.
That's serious.
The
Serious.
tooth
I said,
fairy.
oh, so my parents lied. I never looked at them the same.
There
I
was
think
the
that's
thing
the
about
whole
the
point
tooth
of this is
fairy.
when it comes to lying, it really depends on the situation that you're talking about. Lying to protect somebody can mean a lot of different things. And so to be able to say right off the top of your head, it's wrong or it's right, and the trust issues, if in this scenario, it's a lie that causes trust issues. And so no matter what the actual scenario is, you're not really dealing with a lie, you're dealing with a trust issue. And so if you're dealing with the trust issue, that's a different path that you need to go on as far as what do we need to do as a couple to get past it. And that's something that you have to work out together. And there's nothing better than communication in order to do that.
Right.
It also depends on where you're at in the relationship too, because if you're in a dating phase of the relationship and you lie, you don't know exactly necessarily where the boundaries are. That's how you learn. If you're 20 years married and you do the same type of thing that you should know better, then that's a different way that you would
It's
take it
true.
too.
I'm gonna pause you for a second, Tom. You know, a lot of reasons why some of these things happen is because I'm gonna say not my generation because I was born in '89.
Oh, not 89.
The generation today, the generation today, they are still single in their mind, but together they're with whoever they want to be with, but in their mind and their heart, they're still single.
You said benefit with friends.
Yeah,
Girl.
they're friends with benefits. So they're together with somebody, they're married with somebody and everything, but in their mind, they are single. So that's why they do all these things.
They sound like they need Jesus, honey, okay?
I like that.
Yeah, I also like that one, and it's a very popular thing amongst young men. Young men are the one who is always like that. You don't really find the girls behaving in that manner, but young teenagers going into their early 20s is always the one found guilty of that situation. Anyway, I want to just say something really quick on the topic, which is I will say personally that it all depends on what exactly you're trying to save when you're lying. So lying to save not the person but the relationship, or depending on what the consequences the person is going to face, or your, by the way, you know, you're either lying to save your dang self or you're lying to save the other party. What I will say, if you're lying to save somebody from dying a literal death, then that is okay to save somebody from dying. Also, if you're lying to save somebody from some serious jeopardy where they would have to face the judge and pay a lump sum of money, then I would say in those cases it is okay. But if you're just lying,
I agree with that.
if you're just lying to protect one feelings, that is where you create a lot of trust issues, because what are you going to tell your partner? Well, I was just lying so that you would, you know, not kick me out of the house. I was just lying so that it would save our marriage or friendship. That is where all the problem lies. You don't lie for those reasons. Say the truth and allow your partner to decide what they want to do after they have been told what the situation really is.
I agree with that. I'm going to shift the topic unless anybody else wants to say anything on that. We're going to wind up coming back in some way, shape, or form because, like I said, a lot of the topics revolved around whether it be lying, whether it be cheating, whether it be flirting. So we're going to still keep touching based on them because I couldn't put it all into one big question because they still have a little bit extra onto each topic. So I'm going to switch it up now to what is the definition of a real friendship, and can you develop real friendships virtually? And the third part of that question is, can you be in a virtual relationship?
Okay, let's start with Tommy Travels.
Okay.
I'm sorry. When you say virtual relationship, exactly what do you mean?
Long distance, girl.
Oh, well,
That's yeah. So it's, can you develop a real friendship virtually? I'm not even going to say can then that friendship go to the next level. I guess you could take it that way. Can you be friends with someone virtually? Like, I guess meeting somebody here on YouTube and just being friends with somebody on YouTube and never knowing who they are other than on YouTube. What would you consider the definition of real friendship? And can you be in a virtual relationship?
I would say yes. If you can swipe right on Tinder and be in a relationship, you can definitely form a relationship virtually. And I'd like to think that I have quite a few friends here on YouTube that I've never met in person. And maybe I will meet some of them, maybe I will not. But regardless of the fact, I talk to them, I see them, I follow their videos. We have a good friendship. SF Rose and TR, Nomadic Hippie, Beyond Beauty 3, Boxman D. can name a whole bunch of them right off the top of my head. And now, as far as can you be in a relationship virtually, I think if both people are agreeable to that and are on the same page as far as what they're looking for in a relationship and how they want to move forward, I think it is totally possible to be virtual.
So I agree with the developing friendships. And I even agree. The thing is, I think a lot of the people, if they've, say, developed a virtual friendship and then developed feelings, I believe the pandemic right now has made it very difficult to try to pursue a relationship with anybody that you may have met, say, on social media, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, however you met them, and it was via internet. I don't think that with the pandemic, it's been fair to some people because they don't have the opportunity to actually turn it into a face-to-face relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe if given the opportunity, it is very possible to have a relationship with somebody that you have met, because I just think it's really no different than meeting somebody if you were out at a bar one night, or if you were at a party at a friend's house. Say you were on vacation and you met somebody. So for me, there's always that opportunity of meeting somebody outside of your circle of friends and trying to pursue them. This is just an instance where they're asking, and I think a lot of things are virtual because of the pandemic. So that's my stand.
Ooh, I want to jump on this one.
I bet you do.
So I believe you're right. You can, like a virtual friendship. I know back in the day, you used to say you have a pen pal, and that could be your friend, and you just write letters back and forth, and that could be a friendship. And that was back in the day. Now we have the technology. It's 2020. It's 2021, and we can video chat, and we have a technology so we can see someone and talk to them virtually, like we're sitting like they're sitting in the same room as us. So I have a best friend that lives in Georgia, and I talk to him maybe twice a week, a couple times a week. Some friends that you meet on here, you can talk to them every day, more than one time a day, sitting there eating dinner and developing that relationship. It could be even more of a relationship than if you're face to face. I don't think that just because you're in the same room and touching the person, reaching out, touching them, that considers, that's a friendship. I believe, if you talk every day, you see their face, you're honest with each other, you can develop a real friendship with someone virtually, even if they're not in the same country as yourself. I believe you can do that. Look at Derek C. Williams jump down. I just looked down and said, "Who this dude looking up at me like that?" Derek C. Williams down there. Yeah, so I do believe it's possible to develop a real genuine relationship just online.
Well, actually, speaking of Derek C. Williams, welcome, Derek. So, guys, in case any of you don't know Derek C. Williams, I'm pretty certain you all do. Derek, we started. I had a feeling for some reason. Let me check backstage and see if Derek's hanging out over there, because it's not like you not to show up. So I don't know how.
Me almost more than Leo scares me.
Wait, what happened?
He scared
I'm
me.
not sure how long you
Leo
were back there.
Oh. Not
So TR and I only knew Derek from coming into TR stream. Actually, I met Derek in Mommy on Deck stream pretty early on. And then he started to frequent the TR show. And we used to be friendly with him in every stream, with an occasional message here and there via an email. And we have had the opportunity to actually meet Derek C. Williams face to face. So that is a friendship that developed virtually, and it's still somewhat virtual, I guess you could say. But if I were to, call Derek tomorrow and say, hey, I'm having a party for TR, and you're invited. Would you like to come? I feel pretty confident after this, the friendships progressed, that Derek would get in his vehicle and he would drive to Jersey. So we have actually developed a friendship with Derek. Now, Triple Deuce Scratcher is going to be in New York next month, actually coming up probably in like 2 weeks now, I think.
All
right. You better come see us.
2
And
weeks, yes.
he's already reached out wanting to meet up. So, and I feel pretty confident I know on our end we can make it happen. So if it doesn't happen, it will definitely be Triple Deuce Scratcher's fault.
Oh, it's happening.
Because I said, if I say yes to something, and I'm pretty sure you could vouch for that, if I say I'm going to do something and I commit to, and actually I could say the same for him. We could be not happy with one another on a particular day, and if we made a commitment to do something, we never actually let the outside person into anything that maybe we're not agreeing with. So like I said, if we wake up and we're not having a good day, but we told Triple Deuce we're going to meet up with him, no matter what, we're going to still go. It will have nothing to do with our bad day.
Unless you're lying to protect Triple Deuce.
And actually, as a matter of fact, Tommy Travels actually said today that he wanted me to skip all the topics and just talk about him. And I told him we could do that, but we'd probably be here till 2022.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
So
touche,
right.
Tommy, touche.
Anybody else want to give some advice on the friendship stuff?
I think
I do.
virtual relationship can work because me and Watson met on MySpace. I think
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
many years ago.
MySpace, let's go.
When you meet somebody on the other side of the computer, you just have to have the same mind frame. Like if you know that you're ready to be in a relationship, both parties have to be on that same straight arrow. And then you get to know each other, and the rest
he was throwing shade on MySpace.
Ooh,
let me send y'all a friend request on MySpace.
He was just voting. Hey, he just threw shades and no, not 89, honey. Oh my God! When I tell you I was on the floor. She's like, oh, honey, not 89. I was like, well, what's wrong with 89?
I was 22 years old in 1989.
Ooh.
Really?
What?
I was just going overseas in 89, in October 89.
Wait. What was your rate?
I finished up as being an E4. I was a hospital corpsman. I was aboard the USS Iwo Jima.
All right. DDG 61, the USS Ramage.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I finished the E4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, if I could just jump in right quick with the relationship thing, I've always said this has to be, first off, salute to all the panelists, House of X, Tommy Travel, Triple Deuce, Mommy on Deck, Short Boss, my brother, Miss Yo Yo, and Soldier Fijati out in that area, I see you big time, and of course, my friend the host, SF Road. It has to be some type of sociological term that you have for the affinity that you have for people that you've never met before. You just see them on the screen. I don't know what it is, but clearly, this is social media, and you just I don't know what it is, but it has to be some type of sociological term. I don't know what it is. I'm still looking into it. But yes, I did have the distinct honor of meeting TR and SF Rose that was February or March. It was about maybe 6 weeks before all this stuff started going on, and it's just funny when you meet people in real life. I mean, they pretty much who they say they are. I'll put it like that. And I just know for myself, I've always had this attitude: good people are where you find them. So whether you find them on MySpace, this platform, Facebook, any of that, good people are where you find them, and you just have to have a connection no matter. So this is just another vehicle in which to do that. That's all. And real quick, if I could say something about the lying, just the fact that you're dealing with honesty and transparency versus deception. So it's pretty. It comes down to a situational thing. I done lied to get girls, but then on the other hand, I told girls the truth and got girls. So it really depends. But on the other hand, you can tell a lie and hurt somebody, and just like Mr. Watson said, ain't no coming back from that. I don't trust you no more. So it's really a contextual type thing. So that's all I want to say about that really quick.
Okay, if I may just butt in to give my little 2 cents or 3 cents on this particular topic. I'm gonna put myself right there on the spot to say I can have a long distance relationship or have a relationship with somebody in a different country if the relationship started before the person go to the other country. But I can say for myself that a relationship is not going to work for me if the person is in another country and the relationship started that way. It's not going to work for me. So I want to say this is the only way a relationship can work. And as a matter of fact, anything in a relationship can be made possible if this one thing happened. There is this particular lady that is very destructive. And this particular lady sets out to destroy absolutely everybody in every relationship. So if you can get rid of this lady, your relationship is likely to be fine. And this lady that I'm speaking of is misunderstanding. You have to make sure you destroy misunderstanding at the beginning of your relationship, and your relationship could be okay. So first one has to understand and then agree that this is what we're doing, and make sure you stick to your agreement, and then everything can be fine. That's it. That's what I'm saying.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, I agree.
He has an opinion that he would like to
And
share.
let the church say, Amen.
Yeah, let me add my little 4 cents. I don't think I could deal with a long distance relationship. I like to meet people in person, so I get a better vibes what you all about. If it work for people who meet people virtually, I just want to see the person in person. We go, we have a drink. It's nothing have to be physical or nothing like that. We have a drink. I catch a vibe from you better like that. Some people say, oh, we have long distance relationship from people in another state and they was talking for so long. I have bad experience with that. And when the person come around, there's nothing look like what they show me. They put pictures of their friend or their cousin. And then I use my smart brain, tell me what you are wearing, and I stay somewhere hiding. And when I see they showed up, and I'm like, oh, but that's not the person they show me on social media.
Yeah, got a
I
catfish.
take away myself secretly and go about my business, turn my phone off, and I'm like, yeah, because that's crazy.
The other day.
That was a very bad experience. You know what I'm saying? So from that, I always ban all like virtual type of relationship. If it works for you, it's work for me, but that's just my experience.
Well, I would just like to add one other thing too. By me being prior military, I'm a long distance relationship expert. They don't work, gentlemen. I was in the military pre-internet, and all we had was your Sprint phone card, so I could call a girl up on the phone. But I can just use my own example. I'm stationed in Virginia, and the girl that I was liking was in Mississippi. It was a crash, and I've done that like 4 or 5 times. All of them crashed and burned. So I can't imagine now that you got this picture thing here. It's the same deal. If I'm not in your space, it kind of don't count, because you want to move on eventually to somebody else. They just don't work. They just don't work. But at the same time, with this social media thing, like I have taken a liking to TR, Mommy on Deck, and all the other panelists, have seen y'all talking on the internet. You just kind of get a feeling, if you understand. But if you're dealing with with affairs of the heart, with men and women, or men and men, however you want to do it, if we half a country apart, that stuff don't matter. I mean, lights out. It's just not good. So I agree with Short Ball. Not good.
It's not good, because let me add another 2 cents in. Like when I was migrating to this country, I told my girlfriend that at the time I said, I guess you better move on. And she was like, "Why you
Yep.
saying that? You're not even migrating for like a good 2 months." I said, "It's not gonna work out. You know, that's how I am." I say, "It's not gonna work out because I see I'm all the way over here, and you all the way over there. You in Jamaica and I'm in America. I move on to a different place. It's not that I move on to a relationship, but it's like I move on with my life by focusing on other stuff. So I know it's not gonna work out. So I'm not trying to hold on and like call you every day. What you doing? What you doing? I don't want to give myself that stress and that headache. Who's around you? Which guys that in the background? I don't have time for that. You
And
know, I'm
that,
a
and just what
straightforward
you're saying at
person.
the tail end, it's that what you're saying right there. It's only a matter of time before they move on to the physical
Exactly.
part anyway. So
So
you just may
you
as
know,
well go on and cut the cord.
yeah, I just go from the get go. I just let you know, like you could move on, do what you gotta do because life goes on.
Yes, sir.
And so see my life move on. I have my wife, I have my family, and I pretty much sure she move on too. So I was right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Chef Colin, you sound very familiar in your thought process.
Oh,
Kind of like
he
somebody
was.
I'm sitting next to.
He was.
I figure that.
And there's something else that I would never want to happen, and this is why long distance relationship or starting a long distance relationship will not work for me. You all right? So you're in a long distance relationship, and it took a whole year for you to even get to the next person country to meet them personally, and just let's say after 12 months something happened, whether the person died from corona or the person got missing or got abducted or taken away, and you never see this person again. And after waiting for 1 year, you're still waiting. So this is you in a relationship for 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, 3 months, and you never meet. And that's just wasted time for me personally.
I agree.
Isn't that the same way? I don't know if it's the same way, but I'm gonna say it anywho. Isn't it the same way if you're in a relationship with someone and the person happened to get arrested or get locked up for me about a year, 2 or 3? Isn't the same way as being in a long distance relationship too?
Yes.
Good
Yeah.
Yeah.
question. Good
Yes.
question.
Yeah,
It's
you
Mhm.
got a point, but you got to remember, you get that person got incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? So if your partner is faithful to you, they're gonna do whatever it takes to hold out for that 2 year or that 3 years or whatever. That's totally different because you guys are coming from far.
Yep.
I don't believe if I believe right now if I get incarcerated, I don't think my wife gonna go ahead right away 2 3 years. I say okay, you get locked up for 4 years, and she gonna go right away and start a whole new relationship after we have all this long relationship going with kids and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of like to me is kind of a little bit different because you guys was have a bond for so long, and then it just happened that one of you guys get arrested. That means you didn't love that person from morning then. So that person get locked up for 3 years, and you're just gonna be, oh, you can't wait, you can't be patient. Like so, all that time you with that person, you wasn't be patient not to go out there and cheat. Think about it.
Well, I would say something about the incarceration piece because I was prior military.
Hmm.
I was overseas from October of '89 until April the 11th of 1990, and in that span, 11 guys committed suicide.
Hmm.
And from what I understand is most of those guys got what they call Dear John letters. We were just gone for months. So when you say that if someone gets incarcerated, it's the same way, kind of like in the military, because a lot of military guys will go overseas, and when they're gone, their women are back here, and haven't done it. I'm just telling you the facts of being prior service. Many military men, they get these letters and they can't hack it, and they off themselves. That's real rap. When I was aboard my ship, it was like 11 or 12 dudes killed themselves, and the rumor mill was pretty accurate. Many of those guys got Dear John letters. They couldn't take it, and the thing is that when you're away, You can't account for what the other person do. You keep your fingers crossed that they're gonna be faithful. Because most of the dudes, when they on the ship, you ain't got no choice but to be faithful, generally speaking. You know, that's not to say it's not women in ports where you go. But I'm sure Triple Juice Scratcher can vouch for me when I say it was nothing when you was aboard a ship and the guy would get these dear John letters and kill himself because they could not handle the fact that the other person could not deal with them being gone. And so I would assume, I've never been arrested, but I would assume guys in jail get these letters as well. And I just can't imagine.
I've been out when I'm out to sea. We've been out to sea for months and months at a time. So, and my ship, my ship was only all dudes on the ship, and
Right,
I
mine
mean,
too.
we had no choice but to be faithful, of course. But we still didn't know what your partner was doing, back on land. But it's all about it turns back around to that trust and how strong is your love for them? Because if you're gonna love someone, you're gonna do it for real, and and you're gonna wait. You can wait for them. So it depends on how strong that relationship is. It depends on how strong you are. It depends on how strong your other is. So if y'all got that bond, if you have a strong enough bond, then I believe it is. I mean, I believe you can make it work. Some people can't make it work, but some people can make it work. Even getting letters on the ship from your other, that letter could be something something that will extend your wait time a little bit longer. You said, hey, I got this letter. She's still doing good. I trust everything's gonna be okay, and I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna fight for it. Because if it's worth fighting for, then man, you got something that's gonna like really last. I think that's my opinion. Well, go on, Miss Yo-Yo. What's your opinion? I'm waiting to hear from you. I know you've been wanting to say something.
Nah, it's there's certain things that really resonate with me, and the cheating thing. I wanted to speak on that, but that particular topic is gone. But
No, it's not.
only way that I would accept a person that had cheated is because there was some error of my ways. Sometimes, I hear these women say stuff like they're not gonna give it up because they upset about something or he made me mad, that kind of crazy, stupid stuff. Sex, that is a part of our duty as a spouse. Because if they can't get it from you, who are they supposed to get it from? Now, my whole thing is, now if you have had the audacity to withhold sex from your partner because of whatever your stupid reason was, if it wasn't medically, and then that person, because the person married you or is your significant other for that is one of the reasons. And now you said, no, you can't get it from here because you won't do so and so, some stupid stuff. Now, I'm not talking about anything that's like medically serious or this, that, and the other. I'm talking about reasons for, your own, crazy reasons. Then, if I was the one withholding sex and that person cheated on me, I would have to take some of the blame for that, because if they can't get it from me, who was I expecting them to get it from? And so I would have to hold myself somewhat accountable for that. Now, I'm going to hold myself accountable because I feel like if I put myself in the same shoes, my whole thing is don't do me like that, because now you leaving me out here like that. You leaving me vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable of things can happen because you're not even in your right mind. So as you're supposed to have a partner that is supposed to keep you safe, that is one of the vows, and so how you keeping me safe and you got me out here like that. So the whole thing is, I really take, the vows of marriage and things sacred. And I have to, you have to hold yourself accountable if you have caused a piece of that. If the cause of some of that can be, if some of that can be your accountability, then I would have to say, okay, but that would be that would be the only way that I would accept someone cheating on me. I would have to look at myself and say, was there some, but if I was, hey, ready to hang off chandeliers or whatever, and you just out there like that, oh, it's over. We good. Clearly, I'm not good enough. I'm not. Clearly, I'm not the one.
Can I say something to what Miss Yo-Yo just said?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she brought that up. Miss Yo-Yo, I agree with you 100%, but I also feel like that takes a certain level of maturity and time in a relationship. Because when we're young and we're in relationships and our partner cheats on us, it's like, what? It's over. There's no question, there's no communication, there's no conversation, there is nothing, right? And then as we continue in a relationship, we get older, we get more mature, that's when we have that level of maturity to say, let me look at myself. Let's have this conversation. Okay, what exactly happened here? And what was my role in this whole situation? Because things do happen, like you said, because of other reasons, right? You might be so busy caught up in something else. You might be so busy caught up in working 24/7, not having time for your spouse, and then you don't even realize, right? So these things can happen just like that. And if you don't have that communication, that level of maturity, then you won't be able to take accountability and look at yourself and say, okay, what role did I play in this, right? And how can we move forward from here? Some people, when one thing goes wrong in their relationship, boom, it's over, right? And so I definitely agree with what you said, and you definitely need to have a level of maturity to be able to continue to move forward and try to make things work after things like that happen.
I've been married 4 times, so I agree. Because when I was young, the whole thing was, okay, we're done here. And I don't think anybody ever cheated on me, but the whole thing was, if I looking at my parents' marriage, even though they've been married for almost 60 years, I felt like they should have been left each other. But they had a stick and stay. No matter what happened, they were going to be together. And my whole thing was, well, I'm not going to live my life unhappily. And when I used to see my parents not happy about this, that, they always, all of that arguing and this, that, and the other, I said, well, when I begin to be unhappy, I'm out. And so that's basically the reason why I left so many times. But now, as being mature, I might as well stay with the first husband. But I'm glad I didn't, because now I'm with the one that I really, really, truly, truly love. I really love. But I could have stayed with the first one, because they all, got their issues. All you do is trade one issue with another issue with another issue with another issue, because everybody's not perfect and you're not perfect. And so you're not going to get, if the grass is not greener, there's just more grass. It's just different color grass. It's just a different size grass. You gotta fix this grass different. So, sometimes when you just have that resilience, and like Mommy on Deck said, like you have that stick and stay, and you have that maturity, that's when you can better make wiser decisions, or different decisions that might cater to you.
Yeah, when you find your paradise, you might find your paradise, and it's not going to be sunny all the time. You're going to have a storm, a rainstorm here or there. That doesn't mean that you leave and go back to your old ghetto. You're gonna stick with your paradise. Weather the storm. The sun's coming back out the next day. Oh, write that down. We're gonna put this in a book. Yeah. So
you're gonna write down the sun will come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Come out tomorrow. Can I say something?
Go ahead. That's us, bro.
No.
So
you're the host.
So I like something that Tiffany Chanel said actually in the chat. She said he better communicate first and give a chance to correct it before stepping out. I agree with that. And as you all know, when I said for me, cheating is not necessarily a deal breaker, because I said it does depend on the circumstance. And I stand firm on that. That doesn't mean I give somebody a free pass to cheat. But what it means is I'm willing to evaluate that situation to say, did I cause it? Was it just intentional because they just decided someone looks good and they were having just a weak moment? That to me is very rude and disrespectful in that aspect. If it's just literally like, hey, you know what? I just want to change a scenery because I just want to. But if I'm lacking in something and the relationship is lacking in something and it's not communicated in any kind of way to me, that would be very hurtful to me, because I would feel like it was done dirty in an essence. But like I said, there's many situations that could create a cheating scenario. And you hear a lot of people saying, oh no, for me, they cheat, it's a deal breaker, I'm done, until it happens to them. And then you see sometimes they're really not done. Or in a situation, like I said, you really don't know. So for me, I would want to always try to evaluate what caused it. Was it me? What genuinely happened here for me to be able to say, I don't know if I can do this with you anymore, because I'm not sure I can get back to a place of trust. I don't know if I can get back to a place where I can look at you the same. Or you look at it and you say, you know what? I want to move forward with this person, so I want to make whatever corrections or adjustments or whatever I can to move forward. But like I said, just because I sit here and say that doesn't give anybody a free pass to say, well, you know, she said based on the situation, so I could blame it on her. You never want to open the door to any of that. I'm just saying, though, in general, if you're not, you don't know what's going on, and your partner is not happy about something, and they just selfishly go out there and say, you know what, she's not doing this, she's not doing that, I don't like this, I've told her once, but you never really focused in to say, this is really what we need to work on, then for me, I kind of feel like, seeing it now, I kind of feel like if I feel like I'm being blamed, I did this because you weren't doing this and you weren't doing that. It's almost like a justification isn't okay either.
I kind of feel like if you're finding out that it's your fault after the act of cheating happened, then something went wrong.
Correct. The lack of communication. That's why Tiffany Chanel was bringing up the point. That's why I wanted to highlight that, because if in fact you were really never involved in the discontentment that your partner was feeling, and they just felt the need to satisfy themselves, and then you find out about it.
It's your fault because of that. They should have come to you. That should have been communicated. You should have gone to counseling. There should be a lot of steps in between them, you know, whatever is going on, whatever the problem is, and then them cheating. If you've gone through counseling and you're well aware of the problem and you know that you're not providing whatever it is in that case, and then they cheat, and then you find out it's because of that same thing, well, then maybe there's something there to that. But if it's a surprise to you, then something isn't right there in the relationship.
Well, if I could just jump in right quick, I'll just say that I didn't say anything on the topic of marriage because I'll be 54 next week, and I've never been married. Everybody that I know personally has been divorced. Everybody that I know personally, everybody. So I'm not saying that marriage is not a good institution. I'm just simply saying the people that I know personally, right? But I know with regards to cheating and things like that, it's essentially, you know, I'm hearing what SF Rose and Tommy Traveler said, but just again, I'll just use myself. I can't speak for anyone else. In my late teens, early 20s, and going into my 30s, that was the last thing on my mind. Look, she looked good. I'm going to get her. even though I knew it was wrong. I knew I may have been dealing with somebody else, and I know it's wrong. I just want her, and it's essentially that. It's just that you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. All that's wrong. And as a
Mm-hmm.
53 and as a 53-year-old man, I can say that today. But if I was able to go back to the 23-year-old Derek, I wonder would he want to hear that? Because again, if she looked good, this summertime, they dressing less. She talking to me right back. I'm going to get her. I know it's wrong. I may be dealing with someone. I may actually have a good girl, but I want her. Even if for a little while, I want her. It's wrong. It's dirty. It's low down, crooked. You might bring some babies here. Might catch something. All that, but still in all, I want her. Or in a woman's case, she wants him. Because now you hearing this phenomenon. Well, they ain't really a phenomenon, but they just outwardly say, yeah, I'm inside people. I mean, this stuff has been going on for forever. I don't know if we ever gonna right the ship with it. Just as long as you got men and women or whatever, however relationships go, folks just do what they do, and it's wrong. Bottom line.
Not babies.
Sure. A lot of times, some of the reason why folks cheat and with the communication thing, sometimes men or women in a relationship is not satisfying the person sexually.
That's what she was speaking on earlier. Miss Yo-Yo was saying
Sexually in the bedroom. And
Ooh,
in
either
either today's generation or my generation, speaking, some women don't like to give men bottom, and then some.
Oh boy.
Dang. For shame.
And then some women don't like to do it from behind.
Salute to him. He right.
So there's a saying. There's a saying that if they can't get it from home, they're gonna go somewhere else that can please them. And that's where the communication lies, because if the man is giving the woman the bottom and the woman doesn't give the man the bottom, then that's a different story.
Are we talking about oral?
Yes.
So just say oral, girl. What is bottom, honey?
I was trying to wrap my wig
that way.
Yeah. So that's where the communication is, because sometimes they're not being sexually pleased, and that can cause also for the cheating.
So everybody out there, stop cheating and just give it up, okay?
That would be if we lived in a perfect world, right? I mean, when you get married, for me, this is one thing I've always said, even before I got married. If I was in a relationship and someone said to me, "Are you married?" I would say, "Married to my relationship." Because for me, when I'm in a relationship, I'm committed to that relationship. I'm not willing to, I don't want to say I don't have time for it. I don't want to have to try to go and have 3 different people. For me, I'm not built that way. That's not in my DNA. And I come from a broken family where my parents didn't stay together and my dad was not faithful. So I've seen it. But for me, I like to just be with one person. So not everybody is built the same way. And even being married now, no matter how upset I get and no matter how good somebody looks to me, it won't faze me.
Amen.
It just won't. And it doesn't matter if I'm not happy. It still won't faze me, because I'm not going to step out on my relationship, on my marriage. It's just, for me, it's not in my DNA.
That's when you're in love like that. When you're in love like that and have that kind of relationship, you don't even look the other way. Nobody else phases you. You just focus on that one person that you're in a relationship with. But it's so hard today, because even the media, even the songs we listen to, is always pointed to getting this person, getting this chick. It's always pointed to having multiple relationships, and it's okay. But I mean, you got to stick to your morals and what you believe in, and you just got to have that kind of focus.
I just want to say this one thing too. It's about maturity, the maturity level,
Most definitely.
because before, and then it's about the level of commitment. Because if you're talking about marriage, that's a different level. I mean,
Yeah.
because let me give you a scenario. Like, it was a dude that I was with. I was with this dude, right? Monday through Friday. Okay. Friday through Saturday, he would be with the motorcycle people. Okay. So I met my husband on a Friday through Saturday and through Sunday. So I told my husband, I said, well, there's a situation I'm going through right now, but if you ever ready to take it to the next level, then I'm gonna have to get rid of that situation because I can't sleep with two people. So then my husband was like, well, no, well, go ahead. Well, he wasn't my husband at the time. He said, well, go ahead, and then I'll just go on and I'll get me a situation. I said, no, that's the kind of communication he had right now. Did you hear that? That was crazy. Why couldn't he just say, no, I'm ready to take it to the next level? Anyway, so then when I told dude that, okay, we're gonna have to ixnay this situation because I done met somebody, that I'm about to have a relationship with, he got upset saying, why didn't you tell me that you wanted more time? Why didn't you tell? What are you talking about? I said, well, I want you to do whatever you wanted to do. If you wanted to be with me Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you would have been with me. But that's not where you wanted to be. So I didn't think that our relationship was that serious where I needed to communicate with you that I needed more time. I don't never want to tell anybody I need more time. I Look, do you, and then if it fits me, then it fits me. If it don't fit me, then move on. So, I don't want to stifle you in your life. Be who you want to be. You want to be the motorcycle guy on the weekends, then you do that. And there may be a female for you that can accept that. But this girl here, I need a 7-day, okay? And so I left him. I left him, but he was upset because he felt like I should have communicated that I needed more time. And I just felt like, I'm not married to you. But if you are married, you should communicate. I agree with Tiffany. You should communicate that you need that. But you got to also remember, hold on, before I know I'm long winded, but you have to remember the maturity level. Sometimes you're going through stuff that you don't even know you're going through. Sometimes, unless you are older, when you younger, you might not even know that you need more time. You don't know why it is that this person is irking your nerve. You don't even know why. You don't even know how to get into yourself to find out the answers to what's wrong with you, to know what's wrong with the relationship. It's so deep. So when you're young, you might just go on and leave and have these, and go on and cheat, but you can't. I was listening to Tommy Travel. You can't really. Sometimes you don't even know why you cheated. You didn't even know. You didn't even take the time to look into yourself to know that this person was not satisfying you. And it might not have been because it didn't go down or she didn't go down. It might have just been because of the way you were treated whenever they're around other people, or they feel. It could be anything, but unless you can get into yourself and find out the questions and the answers to the questions that's wrong with you, you may not ever be able to have a real decent relationship where communication is the key to, because you don't even know how to communicate with yourself. Okay, I'm done.
So you got to run your inner
Well,
demon, basically, is what you're
well,
saying.
And sometimes you stuck in the situation when the person cheat, whether because you know that they cheated, you can feel that they cheat, but whatever the situation is, you're stuck in it depending on your circumstances.
Okay,
well,
actually,
if,
You have,
if,
honey.
so actually on cheating, because it's still another part of this topic, what do you consider cheating? We've established that cheating is not just physical, but in an aspect. So if it's not just physical, so I'm guessing in this topic, for me, I could say, and sure there might be a couple who might agree with it. When it comes to cheating, is flirting cheating? Is texting cheating? Is on any social media platform, if you're talking to other people behind your significant other's back, is that crossing the line? What boundaries do you oh God, do you stick with? So
cheating. I'm going to answer that. Yeah, cheating would be it would be whatever the person doesn't like. So if you put yourself in the person's shoes and say, okay, if she was texting somebody else, would I like it? If you don't like it, then that would be considered cheating. And y'all should in the beginning of the relationship set those boundaries. You know,
Yeah,
I'm always a person
communication.
that puts myself in the other person's shoes. If I did this to her, would she like it? Or if she did this to me, would I like it? So you will have to set that in the beginning of the relationship. Say, hey, I'm okay with you, flirting, or I'm okay with you doing this, or I'm not okay with you doing
Exactly.
this.
but what if,
Y'all
okay,
break
so
the- Mhm.
but Triple Deuce, let me interrupt you because I want to bring the topic right into that. So
Okay.
if in fact the person is talking to, say, like I said, whatever social media platform, it doesn't necessarily matter, but if they're talking to somebody and they speak about it, like, okay, so for instance, like I talk to you, Triple Deuce, but it's not a secret. So for me, if in fact TR were to ever think that was cheating, I would beg to differ. So anybody that I speak to on social media, most times I will say in a regular conversation, because I'm somewhat open book, and I will say, hey, Triple Deuce, man, he's hilarious, and I'll start to like touch in on some of our conversation because it'll bring something that I'm like just laughing about. I can say, hey, TR, Tommy Travels is going live. He just texted me my personal notification. So for me, mine aren't out there as a surprise, I should say. I bring him into the conversation. So in your aspect of it, if your partner or somebody you're dating today, before today, next week, if you're with them and she's vocal about people that she speaks to in regular conversations and it's not behind your back because you're aware of it, do you still feel cheated on?
Yeah, and it depends on the person as well. Like I said, it depends on how the other person feels because you don't know what they went through in that whole situation. They could have been cheated on by the same kind of thing by texting, and it depends on how the other person feels. And that's one thing that y'all really do have to discuss in the beginning. Be like, hey, so and so, sit down when you're not fighting or when you're not angry to say, hey, so if I'm TR, I'll be like, hey. SF Rose, I wanted to talk to you about something here. If he sits down and talks to you and say, hey, I don't like this, or this, I feel that, he might have a disagreement and, you just have to, if you love him and y'all in a relationship and y'all have that communication, then you won't be cheated on because you already developed those rules, what he doesn't like or what you don't like. And, just stick by it so you won't have to question if it's cheating or not because you already made up those rules in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Well, if I could just jump in right quick, I would dare say, to me, I would dare say anything that would lead to possible improprieties is cheating. If you send a risque picture and your mate don't know about it, if you sending some suggestive text that you know yourself, if your people found out you in trouble, if you meet up and if you have a meetup and no one has been made aware of it, all three of them is issues. All of that. So all things being equal, in my view, all of it is bad. Any kind, if you're cheating from texting, emails, pictures, the whole shebang bang. If the other party ain't been made aware of it, or if they are made aware of it, and these things are considered risque or suggestive, that's the issue.
So ladies, if you're dating Derek C. Williams, do not send your profile picture out, okay? Because you're cheating on him. Okay, just remember that.
See, I look at it as I'll call it a level of maybe humiliation. So if you're in a relationship and you don't know if your partner is talking to somebody, it to me can be somewhat of a level of humiliation if you're communicating and articulating, oh, I've spoken to this person or this person, and then you don't know possibly that your partner could be talking, flirting, and all these things with somebody behind your back. It feels like somewhat of unfaithfulness, in my opinion. And I agree with Leonard Duke. Leonard Duke says it's okay to have friends in a respectful manner. To me, respectful being communicating with your partner so that it's not behind anybody's back. That's how I would see it. And I've been in relationships before where it has been like that. So I agree with it being out in the open.
Well, if I may say something quick, I want to say greetings to Shem Melus and his wife. They were asking that I would, make an input at some point. I've been speaking a lot since the start of the stream, so I wanted to be quiet for a moment and let the others get a chance to speak. However, on this particular topic, I must say it is one of the areas where me and myself and SF Rose might disagree a lot, because I talk to a lot of people, and I don't think I need to bring a report sheet to say, hey, I spoke with John Doe today. I spoke with Pamela, Jacqueline, Cicely. I don't think I need to do that as a grown up, mature individual. I think I can have friends that I talk to on my own basis, on my own time, and I don't need to report that I spoke to X, Y, or Z person. Now, as for respect, I believe one must respect their other half and keep conversations with other people outside respectful. Now, I want to say I've been in psychology. I was actually a counselor at one point. I was a very influential and respected man back in the day. Now I had an office back in the day. Now I don't have one, but I have a phone. People still reach out to me for advice on different things, whether it be relationships, whether it be whatever, just personal issues in life. And if someone go to read my about section right now on YouTube, I made it public that that's who I am. I am the type of person who try to help suffering individuals who have problems. Now, if during that conversation, one of them pass their places or cross the boundary to say things to me that they shouldn't have said, I correct them in the conversation. But still, I am not going to come and report to SF Rose that X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. Because as far as I am concerned, some of these conversations are confidential. Somebody don't come to you for help and you just go blazing, telling your other party about this. Now, some conversations are okay to mention to your wife or husband, depending on what was said in the conversation. But as far as I'm concerned, the way I speak to my wife or the way I speak to SF Rose is that I hate to have a conversation where I pick parts of it to say. I love to tell from the start what happened, but some conversations, there are some things in there that needs to be confidential, so you just leave the entire conversation. Don't bother to talk about it, because for me, a conversation will not make sense when you pick apart the side that you want your partner to know, or the parts that you think your partner is comfortable with. The story might not make sense, and later down the line, something might come out or come forward, and then you become a liar because why didn't you say this to me earlier? Or why didn't you say this to me when we were talking about this individual? So as for me, I do say most of the conversations that I have, but there are conversations that I also have that I leave them totally alone. When I finish my conversations, that's it. Finish, done. And this conversation is between me and this person only, and it will remain as that forever. There's nothing that I'm going to say, and that's it. So that's where I stand on that particular topic. And of course, myself and SF Rose disagree on that sometimes because she calls it behind her back. And that is something that I just cannot agree with. That behind back thing, I just can't agree with it. So that's basically my take on that topic.
Wave the white flag.
Getting back to what Triple Deuce said earlier, you have to communicate all of that in the beginning, because if you're introducing yourself and you're trying to get to know somebody and the person you're introducing yourself to is on the phone too much, that can make your partner uncomfortable. And they can consider that cheating if they don't really, if you didn't communicate that in the beginning that you like to be on the phone a lot. You know what I mean?
You guys, you have to understand, when you have a partner that is semi-famous, there is certain territory that come with that. Now, I was back in the day, I used to be a DJ, singer, this, that, and the other. And when I tell you, I had so many things going on, and with that comes the opposite sex. Now, also with that comes work. Okay, so the opposite sex, I used to do karaoke for the police department. Wives didn't like me because their husbands did. And I get phone calls. It used to drive my husband crazy. He didn't, guys would try to, send me drinks and stuff like that when I was DJing at the club or wherever, whatever, that comes with that. And when you know a whole lot of people and you've been, especially before they came along, okay, you were just in the limelight and you just had all of these people. And so in your mind, you're conducting what you call PR, or you're doing your for your business. It's like a business. And so, even though these people of the opposite sex are calling or talking, they may have one thing in mind, but you can't even worry about that, because that's just like being a singer. If you're going to be an usher, some women are going to want to throw their drawers at you, but that don't have nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then if you are, like I told my husband's so and so, that man love you. He want to drink your bath water. He may want to drink my bath water, but what does that have to do with me? Now I'm not going to. What? Yeah, I mean, but my whole thing is I'm not going to entertain that. I'm not going to entertain him and like that. But if he comes up to me and say, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Larry? You good? Yeah, that's good. Nice to see you." Because he's not only he's patronizing. I'm at the club. He's coming to the club, buying everybody drink. I'm not gonna be like, "Man, you want to drink my bath water? Don't come talking to me. You driving my husband nuts." I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah. I agree with Miss Yo-Yo because before pandemic, many don't know on YouTube, but in the entertainment industry, Leo and I perform. So in entertainment, we arrive as couple, but in the entertainment, there's people who might lust after me or might lust after Leo, but we both know this is entertainment. So you make your coin, you collect your coin, and you go, and then you're going home afterwards.
Just to clarify, I'm a hip hop dancer. Just for clarification.
Leah, you're a boxer. Leah, you're a boxer.
So, okay, you know what? Actually, you guys actually just touched on something that is also the same here. So, TR obviously on this platform, I guess, is somewhat famous, as well as off of this platform in the music industry. So, this used to be a huge problem with us because it's the TR show. So I sort of watch the TR show now. I don't love a lot of things that he says during the shows, and I can't wait for him to hit end live. And I just have to deal with it, because once he hits end live, he's the person I'm dating, with the person I'm married to now, because we were dating when he came on, when he started YouTube. So it's still not easy, and I still have a lot of level of discomfort. And what TR actually said, I'm not going to fully disagree with him, even though he thinks I do fully disagree with him on the speaking to other people. Mommy on deck, I'm going to call you out on this one. Don't be upset with me.
Eyes got big.
But I'm going to call you out on this one, because I think and Yo-Yo might understand this one, but I think Mommy on Deck I've aligned with her somewhat in this particular scenario. Mommy on Deck, it's not that terrible. Mommy on Deck has seen and sees TR when he's charming and flirty. And back in the day, she saw TR in a chat and said, TR, stop, you're married. We were not married yet. And she actually said to me, I consider you married. Even though you're not married, I consider you married. And she saw, I guess maybe too much flirting. And she said, TR, stop, you're married. So for me, there's a lot of people. So like, if TR flirts with Mommy on Deck, I know Chef Colin, I want to believe Chef Colin doesn't have an issue, because Chef Colin, I think, just looks at TR as a fun, flirty, cool guy. So he understands it. Now I can say, on the other side of it, there's a lot of women out there who say, oh my God, TR said I was beautiful. He said it again when I came in his chat. He said it again. Maybe he's really not married, or maybe he's really not that happy, because how can he keep calling me beautiful all these times? And he's flirting with me. And so now I feel like if it gets into an inbox and he's still saying that they're beautiful, and it's in an inbox, my perspective on it might be different than his perspective. I'm not saying I need to know every inch and detail of a conversation, but I'm saying that's where I'll say to him, no, TR, you're naive. Woman to woman, if I got a panel of 10 women and I were to say to these women that some of these people think and don't care, some know I exist and don't care, and then others think, well, maybe I do have a chance because he's in my inbox and he's telling me I'm very beautiful. Yes, Tiffany, Tiffany, yes, he does flirt with you, but you understand that he's just charming, and TR, not everybody.
She said you flirt with her, not me.
Crazy people out there.
Oh,
That's what crazy
well,
people
TR,
out
you
there.
flirt, but okay, in general, I know, in general, I'm saying that some people on this platform or any social media platform have a level of thirstiness, and they're not going to take TR's fun, charming, flirty as just fun, charming, and flirty. They're going to take it as, wow, maybe him and SF are really not so, maybe I have a chance. That's where my level of discomfort comes, because he doesn't see it at all in that aspect, and he will keep continuing with, you're beautiful. If you want to talk to me, I can help you.
I feel like I'm in the same
Rose,
boat.
what
as
does that
TR.
have to do with him, though? See, this is the thing. What I told my husband, I said, do I not tell a female that she's beautiful? He's like, yeah. All the time. Woman come in the door when I was DJing, like, oh my girl, you gorgeous. You doing it. So now if I say to the guy, oh, you look really dapper tonight, now I'm wrong. Now there's an issue, because the guy wants to think that I'm talking about him. But I'm just treating everybody as a human being. I'm just treating everybody equal. Now, my husband says that I should not treat the men the same way. And I'm like, okay, so now I can't be myself. Now I'm not going to have fun at the club. Now I'm about to just be like, okay, let me
let me not. Oh my God, the guy came in. He got the sharp suit. He got the 12-piece suit on. He looking. I can't say nothing because he gonna have a fit. So now I'm looking like a lesbian. Now I'm looking like I'm just totally like, hey girl, you look good. Now everybody,
Not a lesbian.
girls, all the women in the house say, hey, now.
And Yo-Yo, I like for me in general, he's a natural born flirt. That's before me. Before me.
Wait, SF Rose. Wait, SF Rose. I have to say something right here. My thing with TR and with Leo and Wanston is that, and Colin and I talk about this all the time. TR is an entertainer, so that's part of his role.
Yeah,
What he's
it's part
doing.
of his role,
So if
yeah.
he's telling everybody who's coming to the chat that they're beautiful and they're this and they're that, I don't think he means any harm by it. I see it as, he has to keep the crowd going. He's an entertainer. Like me,
I agree.
I wouldn't personally marry a DJ because I know how I feel about certain things, right? But at the same time, like he's an entertainer, so he has to keep everybody going. He has to make people feel happy, make people smile, make people feel good. And if somebody tells you you're beautiful, are you gonna feel good? Yeah. So why not? So I see TR as that type of person because he's an entertainer, and I'm sure that Leo wants to when they're working. I'm sure they're not over there like, I'm not gonna say that because Leo's gonna be mad at me later. I'm not gonna say that because they're making their money, they're working. That's work, right? And because they're entertainers, so that's why I see it. I don't see it as like, oh, TR said I'm beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go and send him an inbox message. Like, no, I don't.
No, not you.
Somebody
I know
stupid
you're
that think that though,
No,
mommy.
and mommy and Dad, I actually
Somebody stupid gonna think that though.
There's
But
some
that
people
ain't
that
got
would
nothing to
think
do with
that,
him.
but that's on them. That's on them, right? Because if somebody's having a live stream and they're entertaining the crowd and they say that, oh, there's some beautiful ladies in here tonight, yeah, that's it. Like, and you really take that and go and like take that to the next level like that, like that's on you. That's not on him.
You're desperate. I would say you're desperate.
So for me, like I don't even see it like that.
I had that same experience too when I first started my channel. Even Black Like Records saying that I would be up there. It would be just me and like 9 women on the channel, and that was my little niche. I even invite somebody to come up. I'll say, hey, could you come up to the panel, girl? Come on. I'll do my little thing, but that was just entertainment. But I know how it feels because later on, people started actually getting jealous. People start getting jealous, and I was like, wait, it was just me doing me. It's just me being an actor. When I grew up, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor, so it was just me acting out, and just entertaining people. And a lot of people love that, and I mean, it's hard to know, when you're talking to someone and trying to charm them, and they think that you're for real because some people, you don't know what's going on in other people's heads. There's some crazy people out there. There's some cool people out there, so you never know.
And Mommy on Deck, I agree with you though. And I said it's the TR show, so it took me a while. He had to like literally drill it in my head and say, it's work. And when work is over, and I end the live, and I said, I'm still not going to tell you I feel all wonderful about it. Sometimes based on other responses on how other people act. Mommy on Deck and Ms. Yo-Yo, I'm speaking just in a female perspective at this point. Not everybody is you guys. So it's not always that simple. But in general, yes, Tiffany, I agree with you. So that's why I'm saying my point is we've had these discussions before, and I do think more times than less, he does try to take my feelings into consideration. But it's still not easy. And like I said, when he ends the live, it's a different person in here. For me, struggle more with the inboxing because I feel like it's secretive. That's me personally. And I've heard his stance on it. I agree with some points on it, and I disagree with some points on it, and we can agree to disagree. Is it a deal breaker? Maybe not today. Could it be at some point? Who knows? But that's just, relationships take work. Marriages take work. And if anybody says it's perfect, they lie.
While you go check if Shem is backstage, I want to say something. I'm not sure if Crockett Way is still here or she's not there yet. I'm not sure if Crockett Way. No, yeah, Crockett Way. I'm not sure if Crockett Way is still here. She said something, and I also want to address something that Venus Eats said. So the Crockett Way said, "I love you, TR, but if I were in SF Rose shoes, basically, I would want to know what was it that was said, in that conversation." And of course, there were some people who agreed, like Tiffany, and some other people agreed with what was said. But I want to say this, which is very important, and this goes to what what's her name, Venus Eats said. She said she's been married for a while, and she don't care too much about stuff because she trusts that her husband would know where to draw the lines and keep the marriage safe. Now I am saying, if if the man is doing his nonsense behind closed doors or in the inboxes, the woman is not a threat to you. Your husband is a threat to you, because your husband has to know himself and has to know where to draw all the lines. And this is why I can keep my conversations right where I left them and let them stay right there, because I am the protector. That's a part of my job description as a husband. I am supposed to protect my household, my wife, and everything in there. So, if I am protecting my wife and somebody crossed the line, I said, "Hey, hey, hey," I put them back where they belong, and the conversation stays right there. I don't need to say, "Hey, watch out for Tiffany because she's beautiful and she's been checking on me." I don't need to say that. I know my place, and unless I get involved with this person or cross the line and entertain the crap that they're doing, until then, I am a free man, and I should not be held responsible for somebody's misbehavior. That's it.
Amen.
Amen.
Drop the mic.
I think FS Rose, you probably just gotta find your part in the character of it, because I met Leo in the entertainment industry.
Oh, did you? All right now.
And at first,
89.
At first I was kind of like where you are, the bitch. I was very timid about it. But then when I started to see, okay, this is all about money and this is just entertainment, I had to become the character. So it's like you have to find your character to where the both of you can still be on that same ground, and you can be like, okay, she's just saying whatever, but girl, he goes home with me.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it took some time for me, and I just, like I said, I do agree with a large portion of what TR was saying, as far as long as he draws a line.
You do believe he's drawing that line, right?
What was that? Say that
You
again.
do believe that he is drawing that line, correct?
That's the question. Go ahead, Tommy.
Very good question, Tommy.
Because if you do believe that he's
Why
drawing
is it
that
taking
line,
you
then
so
you should have
long,
nothing to worry
SFO?
about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, that was a quiet. I
Silent.
turn my microphone up.
See,
Next
because
topic.
wait a minute. I was with a guy that was in my same. He was a DJ and singer and all of that, and so I would come to his spots, and the women would be sitting over there where he was at. And soon as I walk in, they all dispersed. And so I would go and I would go to the bar. And I would laugh about it. It was funny to me because so I would laugh. I'm at the bar and I'm getting a drink, right? And so then I'm hearing him selling CDs and stuff for $10. Now I sold my CDs 2 for 10, but he was selling CDs for $10. All the female Charles was over there getting them CDs. So I stayed at the bar so he can get that money. So I was like, I didn't care if these hoes was all over there, with him and everything, trying to, because he making some money. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, well, let me sit over here at the bar, but the ones who knew that I was his, woman, they, respected. They was like, let's get from over here because Yolanda's here. So it was like, okay, but I didn't care because I was like, and so he come walking over there to me, hi baby, how you doing? I'm like, how you doing? I say, I see you making some good money. $10 for a CD, one CD. I'm like, shoot, go and make the money. I'll be over here. You go. I ain't coming over there because I'm gonna stop all that money he was making because we had a few bills need to be paid. I didn't care how many women went over. We was able to go on a nice little trip. You can't be messing with folk money now. You gotta, but you have to know that they're not crossing the line. You have to know that because how can they cross the line when they always with you? He always was with me, unless he was up there at the club. I mean, unless they're gonna go somewhere. But I'm gonna tell you something. God will always reveal. Always remember that. Don't worry so much about it. If you don't know, if you need to know, he gonna let you know. Whatever's in the dark always come out to the light. Trust that. And if you are one of God's children, he is going to protect you. Don't ever worry about it. That's why I don't worry about that. Because it's gonna come out when you least expect it, if that's what's happening.
Before the next subject, hey, Derek, quick question. Derek, where you get that shirt that says Greenville? Greenville where?
Greenville, Mississippi. Actually, a quick plug, if I may. A lot of these shirts, like TR refers to me as the second coming of Marcus Garvey. So Scent and Mo does these shirts for me. So I just cut it off. Well, they always say the second coming, and so I got them to make this. I got this behind Detroit. They got a phrase say Detroit versus everybody. Well, I just said Greenville versus all y'all. So, but I got this from, you see Scent and Mo's logo right there. So yes, I got this from Scent Mo made them for me.
I just asked. I live in Greenville, South Carolina right now, so that's why I was like, Greenville.
Okay.
Where you at?
Greenville. It's a Greenville in every state, man.
Will that shirt fit me? Hold on. Let me. I'm trying to get.
He's trying to see if the shirt fits him.
You're gonna have to do some sit-ups.
You're stupid.
I'm trying. Shem.
Did he come up yet? Oh, okay, there it is.
Hello.
Okay. I'm not sure if anybody is talking. I'm not hearing anybody. So since everybody is silent, I will just take this moment to say, I'm not sure if you all saw Shem Malous, recording artist from St. Lucia. He's been on this show several times. This Is Us. Also, he's been on my show, on the TR show, a couple of times. He's very popular. He's very decent, very kind young man. And the lady that you're seeing on the stream currently is the wife of same artist. I met them and I was very I liked them the very day that, oh, there he is. the very day that we met, I could tell that Shem had a very strong wife and a very supportive one, because he went live and his live was not working properly. And then there was this lady, somebody that I didn't see in the background, and she was saying, turn the camera, you need to turn the camera the other way. They're saying this, they're saying that. And she was just trying to help him. And, he was kind of tough that day. He wasn't learning at all. And she was very helpful and trying to support him. And so they have become some of my favorite people. So without further ado, myself and Esifros want to welcome a psychologist, educator. What's her name again?
Shakeener.
All right, there you go, Shakeener.
Shakeener Malous.
She have a lot to say.
Very lightly.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm outside. Let me come closer. I'm outside. We were chilling outside and we were listening to the show. So I decided I wanted to have a little input.
Go
Um,
for it.
so SF Rose, I'm in a unique position because I studied psychology like your husband, and I am married to someone who is somewhat an entertainer. So, so while he is a counselor, he is almost like CRI, I should say, where he has a lot of people who reaches out to him for counseling and for support. Um, but I wanted to address a few things. One being, I understand where TR is coming from because as someone who is expected to give support to others, you would find that people would freely come to you. People would speak with you and open up to you and things that they would not ordinarily say, things they would not say to any other person. They might say that to that individual. And in your instance, TR is that person. And he might not be able to say, because of confidentiality, he might not be able to say to you what he probably might want to share with you. And again, I have come to learn that some things are better left unsaid. But the other thing is, the other side of the coin is to be able to trust your partner enough. If you have that level of trust and that level of confidence in your partner, you know that they will not cross that line. Even though some things remain unsaid for whatever reason, that line will not be crossed. And I think that is the place that I have come. I have gone through experiences with my husband enough to understand that he will not cross that line. And if it comes to that, we have our arrangement as to what will happen. We have a very open line of communication, and we are both very open and understanding. We understand that we are mere humans, and the we're not naive. We're not suggesting that we are perfect individuals, but I think with an open line of communication, you are able to maneuver through a lot of little things. So maybe, SF Rose, maybe that is the point that you will get to sooner or later. I think having spoken about it is the first step. So now that TR is quite aware of it, if he was not, um, an adjustment can be made and a conversation can be held in that respect. But that is just my little 2 cents. But I totally understand. The other thing is, you mentioned something about TR giving compliments. One thing I always say is we have a generation of men who can freely give compliments to others. So they give compliments to others, but they don't freely give that compliment to their partner. And it is not because there is a lack of insight on their part where their partners are concerned. They do see the beauty. Of course, they have selected that partner. However, for some reason, it is more difficult for them to say to the partner than they would for they so from and understand that we need it too, just as much as some stranger might need it, we need it too. But on the flip side again, counselors or persons in the social arena, they can see when someone might need just a little boost, and just saying that you are beautiful, whether male or female. Like I would say to anybody, a male or a female, I think you look very handsome. And you could see how that transforms their entire facial expression. And so some things we just need to overlook. And when things become uncomfortable, we should be free enough and open enough to speak to our partners about it. So that is my 2 cents on the matter.
Actually,
Very well said.
very, very well said. I have respect for you as a friend from meeting you from the very beginning, and that's just increased by your words today. I have no problem with somebody pointing something out for me because I know I'm not perfect. So even if I'm feeling insecure on scenarios, to be able to have a nice support system here in this panel to maybe have me see it in a way that maybe he maybe didn't have me see it, and now I'm seeing it tonight. I'm not in disagreement. I'm in agreement with pretty much, I'd say, probably all of what you've said, Shakina. It's just that it was just really maybe never really communicated to me. Maybe that's just possibly the bigger problem from all of that. But in hearing how you've spoken, it makes perfect sense. So I do thank you for that. And the funny thing is, Shakina, you weren't here in the beginning. A lot of the topics that we're discussing tonight, they were not from me. They were literally topics brought to me from other people, although I did use them in the chat this evening because they can apply to me. They were not my specific topics. I didn't have to use any of my topics because I got so many topics from other people to use in this chat. But like I said, I certainly didn't eliminate them because some of them can apply to me, and I was curious, and that's why I'm glad to have so many people on this panel and talking in the chat to be able to see things clearly, not just for myself and TR in our marriage, but to hear how the other half lives, because none of us are perfect. Our relationships aren't perfect, and I say it over and over again. If anybody does say they have the perfect marriage or the perfect friendship or the perfect relationship, they're lying, because there is no such thing as perfect, except TR is the closest thing to it. But yeah, like I said, I understand. I do understand he's in the entertainment business. And Shakina, when all of this, you missed that part, I think, of the conversation. It was rough for me in the beginning because I didn't understand that. And actually, you and TR are like from the same mold. So many things that you have said are like exact sentiments to what he has said. That if I could just tell someone they're beautiful and just make their day a little bit brighter, if I can put a little sunshine on a cloudy day from somebody's life, I'm going to do that. And he stood firm on that and said he's not going to stop, but I understand that. And Shakina, I think just the only part that I don't fully agree with, I do get that maybe some of the conversations need to be confidential. Although he's not licensed, I could still say he's respecting somebody's personal space. So I get that. Just the part for me is not everybody sees it the way you are seeing it. That's the only part that I still struggle with, because even though, yes, he says somebody's beautiful, there are still some people out there who do take it further than him. That's really the only, like I said, for me, that's the only thing that I struggle with. But I do get that he's an entertainer, and I do get he's an entertainer on a stage and on this platform. So I do understand that whether I like certain things or not, I have to digest it and let it just marinate and stay there until it's done. And he has said a lot of things very much in line with what you've said. So it's nice to hear a female perspective. And I don't disagree. So, like I said, as long as he's fully, not crossing any lines, then, that's fine by me. It's sometimes, like I said, the matter of wonder. So it's a lot. So because you're with an entertainer as well. So, and I do agree that sometimes the words need to be also said in this direction. And I'm not going to say he doesn't say to me that I'm beautiful, and I'm not going to say that he doesn't compliment, but I think sometimes you get so comfortable in your situation, and not just with you and Shem. This goes for all of you on the panel. When you're spending so much time with one person, maybe the compliments don't always come as easy. They're always easier. And I agree, even from myself too, like, I could see Triple Do Scratcher or Tommy Travels or House of X Entertainment and Derek C. Williams and use certain terms of endearment when I see them that I may not say to TR. So, and it's for no reason other than it's like, I guess he doesn't need to hear it, or he'll think she doesn't need to hear it. But in all actuality, we do. So that's actually something I even need to correct on myself, because I think I could say I'm probably guilty of that as well, where I might be like, oh, Tommy Travels. But if I, see TR in a chat, I'm like, oh, hey, TR, because he's my home.
Yeah.
So I actually, that's a very good point. And,
Well, SF Rose, if I could just jump in for just 1 second.
Sure.
You and I, well, anytime TR is live, you and I banter about throughout the whole thing. And we'll throw emoji here, emoji there, all of that. But I mean, that's as far as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to assume my man don't think nothing with us. I mean, it's just folks. We're just having a conversation throughout the live stream. So but at the same time, I don't see where he would take that as any, you or I being funny style.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with Miss Yo-Yo. It is a maturity thing, because if you remember, I had said a while ago, I'll be 54 next week. I wish I could go back in time and talk to the 22-year-old Derek, but at the same time, I wonder would that 22-year-old Derek be receptive of the wisdom of the 54-year-old man? So it does come down to maturity and things like that. That's all I want to say real quick.
I feel the same way too. Sometimes when even when I message SF Rose about something going on, I was like, man, I hope TR doesn't think that I'm, messaging his woman. I'm like, hey, look, hey, SF Rose, So I feel the same way sometimes too. I said, I hope I know she knows what she's doing, and I know they have their relationship going, but it's just conversation like a friendship. Also want to say, hey, Tommy, you are a beautiful specimen.
That was crazy.
Yo, where your picture at?
I feel so much better now.
Okay.
If I may. Yes. I'm not sure how
You break it up for me.
Just rushing in a little bit. I think we tend to forget, that our partners deserve these terms of endearment just as much as other people do. And you made a very good point in saying that when we have our partners with us, they're there all the time, and it seems like it's not important to say those things, but it is just as much important, because some of those things are actually what drew us together in the first place. And you sometimes wonder, but why do people lean towards cheating, or why do people gravitate away from each other? One of the main reasons is because some of the things that we did to attract each other, we do not maintain it, because we get so complacent, we get so relaxed, and we're so comfortable in the position that we are in, that we forget that those things are just as important. I think someone mentioned something about maturity. I think also it is just about the partner having taken that responsibility. So while immaturity is indeed a factor to take note of, a factor to take very seriously, we also have to understand that we as a partner, we have a responsibility to ensure things work out and things remain at a particular level. If not, we're going to lose the relationship, and we are the cause. Sometimes we may think, what, my partner did not do this, but you as an individual have as much power to save the relationship as the other partner. And sometimes we look onto the other partner a little too much. So, SF Rose, I did not want to highlight you too much. I know you said that these are topics that just came about, and I think that is quite an important topic to discuss. We do not have those kinds of topics being discussed very often because people are not frank and free to say what is the reality, especially within their relationships. But I think it is quite an interesting topic to discuss, and something that we should be discussing on a more natural basis every single time.
Yeah.
So yes, this is it for me tonight. I just wanted to say that and um, continue what you're doing. I was quite surprised. It's been a long, long time since I saw you guys, but it was nice to speak and it was nice to join in with the show tonight. It was not expected, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. So
Are
TR,
you,
lovely to have to see you guys. SF Rose, lovely to see you and
Shakina?
everyone
Are
on
you
the
able to
show.
stay for one more topic? Are you able to stay, or you have to head off? Shakina, are you there? Oh, all right. Well, this was a topic that could have related in an essence to Shakina, but I'm thinking that she's not there.
Well, from
Yes,
here it
I
looked
am
like.
there.
Oh, okay. Can you stay for like 2 more minutes?
Oh yes, I can stay. No problem. I'm
Okay.
not asleep. I'm
Uh,
outside just chilling.
yeah, there was one more actually. It was more of I'll call it a topic slash question that was brought to me as well. And this one actually, being that you are a mom, or I should say, you're a parent. This I'm curious to hear your answer on this. So this next topic that was brought to me was, when you have a child, should you be putting up seductive or suggestive videos or pictures on any social media platform that you also put your child on?
Okay, that is a very interesting topic. That's a very interesting question. I would never think of that at all. Um, to me, I don't see an issue. I think it is a matter of personal preference. I am an individual who do not naturally do such things. So to me, it would be quite odd if I were to engage in such behavior. However, everyone is different, and what might not be a bother, what might not be bothersome to one individual might be to another individual. And I think we need to come to a level in society where we accept people for who they are. Everyone lives their life as they feel. We are not in a position to judge. We are not the ultimate judge. However, um, in fact, people have their right to choose however they want to, whatever they want to do, they can do. If we feel as an individual, if we feel that this is not right, we should not be doing it for ourselves, but we should not have that expectation on somebody else. Too many times we do that. If we have an issue with it, we may want to speak to the person in private and see why the person think it might be a good reason to do that, or why you think it is not a good reason to do that. But I don't see an issue with it. um the other thing that might be of interest is the reason behind it, the motive behind doing such things. Sometimes we do things for varying reasons, and that might be questionable. If there is an ulterior motive, if you're just doing it just for doing it and that is fine with you, then that's okay. But if there's a reason behind it, a motive behind it, some women, they really put themselves out there. And you're a mom, maybe you're married. Well, in my case, I'm married. So if I were to do that, i I feel it would really be for me to find another man. That is just how I feel. And like I said, everyone has their own opinions on things. But I would not bother if somebody else did it. I don't think it is so much of a grave issue. The other thing an individual would want to think about is the future. These children, or whatever you post on the internet, remains. And if you want that child to see that being your whatever you portray of yourself, then if you don't have an issue with it, then that's fine. But if later on, some people don't think about the future, some people don't think that later on my child, my daughter, my son might be able to see that, and what will my child think of me in that instant? Some people don't care with that. Some people will say, okay, my child will understand that that was me at a lesser mature stage in life, and so that should not be a point of quarrel or worry. But some people might have an issue with that. So this is my take on it. I don't think it is much of an issue particularly.
Anybody else want to say anything on that topic?
Well, I've done, I would say maybe 10 videos with Damaris, and I've let her do 2 of them on my channel. She has Instagram, and this is the only social media, well, if you want to call it social media, that I do. I'm not on any other platform. But I've had other content creators tell me behind the scenes that they personally would not have their children on the platform because people want to quote drag children and things like that. Me personally, you're not going to touch my daughter, so I'm not really worried about what you say online. You're not going to see me in real life, and you're definitely not going to see my child. So that's something I don't worry about. But with regards to risque pictures and things like that, no, I think that's inappropriate for me to do as a parent, because it sets a bad example for my daughter, who will be 17 in November, and I'm sure as hell not going to have her, to my knowledge, because again, like I said, she has Instagram, and I don't. I do have a screen block thing on her phone, so I actually see what she does and things like that. But if I ever got wind of her doing some stuff like that, she's going to answer to me, because if I'm not going to do it, I would feel like I would feel as if I'm failing as a parent if I let her do stuff like that. So no, that would not fly with my daughter. I wouldn't do it, and she sure as hell not going to do it.
Anyone else?
Word up.
Well, I put up sexy pictures of myself on Facebook all the time, and I just don't care.
I knew that was you. I
knew it. I was waiting for Tommy to come.
No one can tell me not to. It's just me. I like to be free like that.
Like I said, for me personally, good night, Latrice. Thank you for coming. For me personally, I'm not really huge on like it. For me, I don't love pictures. So, and I don't like, for me, anything suggestive. Personally, that's me personally. Whether I have children or not, whether I'm single, married, in general, for me, I feel like when pictures like that come up on social media, I think sometimes it could create people to think like, wow, I wonder what they could be like if they could be this much forward or aggressive with the type of pictures or videos. I wonder what they're like behind closed doors. I'm just never comfortable with something like that personally. Like I said, whether I have a child or not, or I'm single or not, that's me personally. I just don't like anything too suggestive. I just like to leave room to the imagination. That's me personally.
I think that's a very important point. I think we live in a time where we're very free, and where we want to be free. Free so much so that the world knows what is happening in our bedrooms. We do not leave space, or we do not leave room for someone to admire us and wonder. And a lot of the time, you look at photos that are being posted, the videos that are being posted, and you wonder, is that person even in a relationship? Because if you are so free to post something of that nature, whether you have a child or not, and you are in a committed relationship, my question would be, are you in a relationship with everybody else, or are you in a relationship with that individual that you claim to be in a relationship with? Um, if you are so free to do that, what else are you free to do? It is just a matter of time, or it is just a matter of opportunity. Some people might disagree, but I think a lot of the time people post those things just because they're really looking for validation somewhere else. They're not getting what they really want. Their self esteem or self concept is not where it should be, and so they're seeking it out. And that is really how it is for, especially for our young people. Very, very much so, our young people. I find it quite interesting. I've been recently watching some TikTok videos, and I see now, I'm not saying this to bring down anyone. It's just an observation. I noticed that there are a lot of middle-aged, middle-aged men and women doing some quite interesting things on TikTok. And you wonder what are they doing with their time? And some people might think that it is probably just a way to pass the time, and everybody is depressed because of COVID, so it's a way to just have a little bit of fun. But can't we have fun in a different way? Can't we have fun in a way where our privacy remains private? Where is privacy in this era? Where is privacy? Are we um in a relationship with the world? Maybe, but for me, I think personally, I will not do that because I respect my husband, and I would not expect my husband to do such just because I expect that this is the way for him to respect me. At least one aspect of respect would be in that form. So that is one of the things that I noticed.
Okay, I appreciate your input. Anybody else want to give any input? Because we are winding down. I pretty much, I think I got to everybody's topics. And if I didn't get to the specific one, it was kind of, we touched on most of the things more or less. And in the end, I guess if anybody's interested in trying to do this from time to time, and you want to contact me with some topics, I can certainly put together another panel and another stream, like maybe once a month or something, so we can, just kind of vent and put life scenarios out there to hear other people's perspectives. Because for me, everybody said a lot of things tonight that made sense to me, and especially Shakina. And it's nice to actually just speak on how other people see things, because for me, it's okay to be open to criticism as long as it's constructive. And if it could be presented to me in a constructive kind of way, I'm definitely willing to embrace, working on things that I need to work on. And I think that probably goes for all of you on here. We all have room to grow in every aspect of the word. So that's where I stand.
Well, SF Rose, if I could say really quickly, just really quickly. First off, I want to thank you for having me on your platform, and I'm flattered that you even reached out to me. As you know, my tagline is "I'm just one man in the comment section on YouTube." I feel like I do my best work in the comment section. I just speak my mind, but I'm saying all that for this reason. We have become so politically correct and so afraid of offending people. The very thing that you said about having this platform to speak freely, people don't want to speak. They scared. I've never been that. I'm not a long-winded type dude, but when I do talk, I be trying to make it make sense. And I do think that we do need more conversations like this. You would think with all of the adults on YouTube, with all these YouTube channels. I'm gonna correct the Soldier for Job. Last time I checked, as of March 31st, 2018, there are actually 31 million YouTube channels, not 4 billion. So he's in error. But I just want to say, we need more. Well, you can look it up for yourself. I don't talk about it if I ain't looking into it. You would think with all of these adults on these platforms, you would think that they would talk about more substantive things, but they talk about nonsense. So again, I just want to say, for my part, I'm flattered that you. I don't know why you even wanted me on, but again, I'm flattered that you had me on here, and just thank you.
Okay, before we close, I want to just give all the males on here their passport in terms of Tommy Travels, Derek C. Williams, and the Triple Deuce Scratcher. I don't have to worry about Colin. He's more laid back. He's not going to cross the line. Mommy and Deck will beat him to sickness.
Right.
But I just want to say, I am never offended of you guys, complimenting SF Rose. In fact, when she gets a smile or she feels happy from something that you've said, it makes me happy. I'm never worried about she's gonna hop off in the middle of the night and go chill out with Derek C. Williams over there in Pennsylvania, or she's going to take a trip to see Triple Deuce Scratcher, or either way, whatever the case is. I'm never threatened. I never feel uncomfortable when you speak to her. And Derek C. Williams, you can throw as much emojis on her as you want. I never feel offended or feel like, is he trying to send a message? As a matter of fact, I will tell you this. Derek C. Williams, for about 7 months, told SF Rose that she gave the best hugs on planet Earth. And, and I never felt offended or feel like, wait a minute, he's taking this too far, he's crossing the line. I am okay with it. That might be a fact, and I like it.
It is a fact. TR, it is a fact. I'm as a man, I'm telling you, she vice grip. You get the best hug on earth.
Vice grip.
I'm just telling you, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
All right. I have to drop out, guys, because I have to be up in about 4 hours or so. Go to work. I will do that. All right, I will do that, Derek. I appreciate you for inviting me up here, SF Rose. It was an honor. I thank you for being up with the greatest here. And I look forward to doing this again. Tommy.
Yeah, I think it was nice. I think we would do it again. Thank you. I want to give an extra special thanks to actually all of you for coming up, because I know I say this often, and I always say it's not really going to be a long live, and I'm going to really try to keep it to an hour and a half. And when you're in company of great people, sometimes you lose track of time. And when you actually get to have some good topics like this and be able to share, the stage with great people and hear how the other half lives, it's a blessing for all of us. So I think we all took something from this tonight. I want to hope so, in general, whether it be in friendships, marriages, or relationship. I think that we definitely got something from it. So I want to thank House of X Entertainment for coming, the both of you. Tommy Travels, always thank you for always saying yes to me. Ms. Yo-Yo Show, Mommy on Deck, Chef Colin, Triple Deuce, Shakina.
Anytime.
Derek, I want to say extra special thanks. Extra special thank you to House of X Entertainment becoming a member tonight. Extra special thanks to Mommy on Deck for the super chat and Triple Deuce for the super chat. And on top of that, King and Queen Stacking for the super chat. Tiffany Chanel, the super chat. And why is my mind drawing a blank? I know there was another one. Who was the other one?
Triple Deuce, you said, right? Yeah, you said Triple Deuce.
I don't remember.
No, I said Triple Deuce already.
Okay,
yes, I said Triple Deuce. My God, I said Triple Deuce.
Okay, I'm going, y'all. See y'all later.
Thank you, Triple Deuce. But I think there was one more super chat, and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now, but I know what I did do when it did come. I did thank via text in the chat, so I didn't forget somebody. I was just trying to give an extra special thank you. So I want to also give an extra special thank you to it was Fishing with Slip. Okay. Extra special thank you to TR. I respect you speaking up and being by my side, and in general, I just thank all of you. You know, we are blessed. I know I say it often to have met some really great people on YouTube and through social media. Social media is not always your friend, but at the end of the day, I think we've got some pretty great people.
Did you mention King and Queen?
I did, King and
Okay.
Queen stacking, yep.
Alright.
So, again, just thank you everybody for being here. I think it went better than I expected because I knew some of these topics, like I had to let TR know beforehand that I honestly did not make any of these topics. I said some of them I would love to hear and love to, you know, jump in on, but none of these were mine. I got so many topics from people that I actually did not have to create my own. And this stream actually was based off of the stream you had. TR had a stream maybe a few weeks back that was about lying, and it stemmed in some other topics, and that's why a couple of people had reached out to me saying, hey, I want to touch on these topics. Would you do a stream? So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I'd consider it. Thank you, Sid Saltwater Office. I appreciate it very much. Thank you to you from you and Tony. Thank you. So yeah, I was a little bit concerned. Oh, King and Queen stacking. Thank you again. I was a little bit concerned, but I think it went well, you know, and I do think sometimes even in your personal relationship, maybe sometimes it is better to speak outside of your means instead of just with one another, because for me, you all gave me some kind of advice, even if it didn't apply to me personally, hearing how you guys handle certain things, and then personally hearing what you've done and comparing some of your situations to maybe mine, it makes you see the light a little bit more. And certainly Shakina, your words were very powerful, and where some women would think like you're just a woman and you're saying stuff and you're not really fully on my side, woman would take offense to that because they would feel like they want you to back them. But I actually don't like that. I like somebody to actually give me their perspective and constructively show me the way. And to be able to hear it that way makes me feel that there's no sides being taken. You're actually just defending and articulating what you feel is a proper way. And I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Well, it's always a pleasure, SFO.
Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. And I will make sure to include you for certain in the next one. I think, well, no, actually I did include you. I messaged you guys tonight, right? Didn't I? I think I did send you. I did send you the link tonight.
I did not get the message, but I think my husband did.
I'm pretty certain. I think I sent it to both of you, because I knew that this would be something. I knew that Shem would consider it, but I knew he would probably pass the message on to you if you hadn't seen it. But I did actually, I did send it to you 1 minute apart from you and Shem. I sent it because I thought it was definitely something that all these topics were, I like to hear certain people's perspectives. And I think it was a very diversified panel, which was important. So, you want to?
Oh, okay. So I was saying, Derek C. Williams is looking on his clock. Mommy and Deck is feeding the baby. Tommy Travels is worried about his pizza tonight. Or
I'm starving, actually.
So before we lose each of us one by one, let us just,
call it a night.
Yes, let us adjourn this meeting and we will meet again on the same topic or some other topic, and we will, explore once again. So I want to give my devoted thanks to everybody who was a part of this live tonight. It's a family. It was more like a family treat. And I am a very open person. I'm never afraid to say how I feel about things. And I am glad that SF Rose could at least, understand. At least she knows who I am. She knows who I am and how I am. So when she do these kind of live, she's very much prepared for what could possibly happen because, I'm very outspoken. So I want to say generally thanks to those who were in the chat, and I hope we didn't ignore anybody, but instead everybody learned something or was encouraged or by something that was said here tonight. So I want to say thank you all, and from me and wifey to you all, much love and respect until we meet again.
All right,
Bye,
guys.
Good night,
Have a good
everybody.
night. Thank you all for sharing your night with us.
You are so welcome. Love you guys.
Love you
Love you
all.
more.
Have a good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Good night.
Night.